Henry Cavill may no longer portray Superman on the big screen, but there is still hope that he could join James Gunn's DC Universe as Ultraman. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. James Gunn's Superman is just around the corner, but there are still so many mysterious details that fans could only figure out once the movie hits the cinemas. For one, who is the guy in a black suit with a U-shaped logo on his chest in the movie's teaser trailer? Henry Cavill's exit from DCEU shocked not only him but fans around the world. Just when everyone was expecting a major comeback from the Man of Steel himself, all hopes were snuffed out in one go. The actor was even tasked to deliver the sad news that he's finally hanging up the suit for good. As James Gunn took over the revamped DC Universe, there was not a hint that Cavill would somehow return. This was further confirmed after David Corenswet was hired to play the new Superman. Is there really no more chance for Cavill to join the DCU? That's Ultraman, and we know the character from the comics as the villain form of Superman, an alternate version of him from Earth 3. This place is the hub for the evil and corrupted counterparts of the main heroes. With that, the antagonist essentially possesses the same Kryptonian powers as Superman, making him a formidable opponent. The actor who plays the masked character remains unknown, but Henry Cavill, who previously played the titular role in the DCU, would make a good choice for the part. Giving this role to Cavill would bridge the old and the new DC movie franchises. Cavill isn't necessarily bringing his version of the last son of Krypton into the DCU, but isn't it a great way for Cavill to properly bid goodbye to his character, even though he's in evil form? He was clearly devastated by how things turned out for his career as Superman, and Gunn could at least give us a very satisfying twist in his upcoming movie by revealing that Cavill plays Ultraman. James Gunn's Superman is just around the corner, but there are still so many mysterious details that fans could only figure out once the movie hits the cinemas. For one, who is the guy in a black suit with a U-shaped logo on his chest in the movie's teaser trailer? Another reason why Cavill must play Ultraman is that by this decision, he is also officially closing the DCU chapter. As Gunn's era heralds a new Superman, we now accept that David Corenswet is the new face of the hero, which naturally requires an epic showdown against Cavill's Ultraman. Since we know that good always triumphs, Superman's defeat of Ultraman would be a symbolic transition done in the most cinematic way. Besides, Gunn brought a couple of characters and storylines from the Snyderverse as part of his plans for narrative continuity. Since Ultraman technically comes from the multiverse plane, it's perfectly possible to bring Cavill into the fold. Not only are we getting a major duel scene, but Cavill could finally bow out from the franchise with pride, far from his abrupt exit in 2022. James Gunn wants John Cena's Peacemaker to fight Batman in the DCU, but fans doubt the antihero's chances against the Dark Knight. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. James Gunn has come a long way since just being a mastermind visionary filmmaker, considering how he will be officially launching his revamped version of the DC Universe soon as its co-CEO with the upcoming Superman. But that is to say, the Brainbox isn't eyeing limits, especially when it comes to his vision for John Cena's Peacemaker. AD. John Cena has been pulling off quite a few unprecedented moves as of late. Be it his unexpected gig at WWE of turning into a heel after his longtime run as a babyface or the out-of-this-world roles that he somehow seems to score, the actor and professional wrestler hasn't been hesitating lately to leave his fans perplexed by his choices and opinions. But the latest wish that has reportedly been expressed for him has ostensibly taken a different turn, as it appears to be a bit too much of an impossible dream to come true, even for fans. This is because DCU co-CEO James Gunn has candidly put forward his vision of having him fight with Batman at some point in his revamped version of the Superverse. Of course, Cena's character is a major and important one in the DC lore, but he's arguably not as significant and influential of a character as the Caped Crusader, who is basically the cornerstone of the DC universe. As it turns out, Gunn is reportedly envisioning pitting Cena's antihero against the Dark Knight at some point in his DCU. This was reported by @Homioftku on X, in the wake of the recently held panel at the CCXP Mexico 2025, where both the respective director as well as the actor were present to talk about the upcoming Season 2 of Peacemaker. James Gunn says he wants to see Peacemaker fight Batman at some point in the DCU. While Gunn didn't hesitate to put it out there how he is ostensibly visualizing having these two characters from completely different ends of the same world face off against each other, fans aren't hesitating either to make fun of the idea. If anything, they just can't see Bruce Wayne and Chris Smith share the screen, or the latter winning against the former. That said, taking to X, here's how they have been reacting to the same. For one, while Batman is a foundational member of the Justice League and a key figure in Gotham City's fight against crime, Peacemaker, on the other hand, is primarily a character in the Suicide Squad and has a more antagonistic role in the universe. This is why even fans are seeing this as a rather impossible dream to come true. But is it actually Gunn's wish to have them fight, or was this just something he put out there to pique fans' interest in Peacemaker? Guess only time can answer that, perhaps, with the release of the second season of Cena's anti-hero series. Needless to say, all of these fan reactions are more than enough to put it out there that Cena's character won't really be able to put up a fair fight against the Caped Crusader and might be beaten a bit too soon. David Corenswet's Superman shares the same $225 million budget as Henry Cavill's Man of Steel, but can James Gunn's reboot actually deliver success? Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Who would have thought that two Supermen, a decade apart, would cost Warner Brothers the exact same amount to take flight? Yup, David Corenswet's upcoming Superman, 2025, and Henry Cavill's Man of Steel, 2013, were both made with a massive $225 million budget via the wrap. That's the price tag for saving the world, apparently. It's almost time, and David Corenswet is soaring into the theaters on July 11th in his iconic red cape, ready to replace Henry Cavill as the new Superman. But here's where the plot thickens. His upcoming 2025 film has the exact same budget as Cavill's 2013 Man of Steel, a whopping $225 million. Talk about DC's déjà vu. With James Gunn at the helm and DC's future hanging by a thread, David Corenswet's Superman isn't just another reboot. It's a high-stakes gamble, especially when DC and Warner Brothers have struggled for years to build a cohesive cinematic universe. So now, the question remains, will it fly high or crash under the weight of superhero fatigue? Let's find out. Fast forward to now, and things are trickier. The superhero world is flooded, audiences are a bit burnt out, and streaming has changed how we watch everything. So while the budget might be the same, the expectations are higher than ever. David Corenswet's Superman has to win over skeptics, impress the box office, and basically rescue DC from years of chaos. While Henry Cavill's debut had Krypton exploding and buildings crashing left and right, we're now waiting to see if James Gunn and David Corenswet can stretch every dollar into an epic story that fans won't forget. Back in 2013, Zack Snyder's Man of Steel may have been a little polarizing, but it sure brought in the cash, $667 worldwide. Plus, the movie also made another $120 million from home video sales, via the numbers. Not bad, right? That movie didn't just introduce a new Superman, it kickstarted the entire DCEU and turned Henry Cavill into a pop culture icon. So, Warner Brothers definitely earned back each penny, even though the franchise stumbled later. Look, Zack Snyder may have had his critics, but he also had a fiercely loyal fanbase that still campaigns for his vision online. His Superman was darker, moodier, and more grounded in a world that felt very real. Meanwhile, James Gunn is known for humor, heart, and vibrant characters. His new Superman is expected to be younger, more hopeful, and maybe even fun. But will that be enough for James Gunn to dethrone Zack Snyder's cinematic legacy?